that? Oh God, I'm gonna die. I gotta get this on camera. No. Hey everybody, welcome to the Marino Show. I'm your host, David Marino, and today I'm excited to have my guest. I'm speaking with Mark Haynes. He's an actor, a stunt double, a model. One of his latest projects is the horror film Stream, where he plays player number 4. We'll get more into that. He's also a bodybuilder and has been a stunt double for a number of celebrities, including Dave Bautista, Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce. And his film credits include The Glass Onion, Knock at the Cabin, Creed 2, and more. Mark, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
So I've been watching your social media. I love like the different little videos that you put up on YouTube and kind of like whether it's you working out or just kind of commentating on stuff. I saw your RV Cribs episode.
Oh, yeah. You saw that?
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. So our audience out there, you need to check out Mark Haynes on his social media channels because, you know, you really do post some fun stuff. But one of the things that kind of drew me to you is the fact that you are somewhat in the horror genre, especially with this latest film, Stream. So tell me a little about how you got involved in that project and what the film's about. Also, it's from the filmmakers behind Terrifier, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, it was just a regular audition. My manager sent me the audition for Stream, and I liked the whole concept and everything. And this was during like COVID time, so it was all like video auditions and stuff like that. So they liked what I did, and then we kind of had like another meeting on like on Zoom or whatever to talk about the movie and everything, and I was into it. I knew a little bit about Terrifier and stuff like that, so I knew what the concept was going to be about with Stream. So then yeah, I was lucky enough to be casted in the movie, and so the movie is it's a slasher film, kind of like maybe like reminiscent of like the 1980s, that type of vibe to it with the slasher, like this an old school type movie, but with like a new twist to it. So it's about a family goes to a hotel to get away, trying to escape, the everyday things with life and the problems and everything, go on a little vacation, and the hotel gets taken over by 4 deranged killers who are killing people and having everything live streamed on the internet while people make bets on, while the viewers watching this online are making bets and on the kills and things like that. So the killers are earning points and things for each kill that they make. So.
Oh, well, that's awesome. So that does really bring like the 80s slasher into 2024 with the streaming aspect of it.
Yeah, so I really like the whole concept, and it's kind of it kind of freaks you out though a little bit because it makes you think like, well, hopefully nobody's like a copycat and really wants to do this in real life, because it's something that probably could happen. So.
And you're one of the killers, right? You're player number 4.
Yeah, so there's 4 killers. I'm player 4. I'm the big brute. So each of the killers has like kind of a gimmick to them, kind of like with like wrestling or something. How each person has like a different gimmick. Like we have the one killer. She's like a hot chick, and she's kills people and kicks them and stuff like that. And then the other guys like more, who is David Howard Thornton, the guy who plays the clown and Terrifier. He's a killer, and he's more of like the kind of like artsy, like flamboyant, that type of dancing and things like that. And then you have player one, who's more like the Michael Myers, like slowly walking around and creepily, like creeps up on you and kills you. So it's pretty interesting. I like the concept. I just like um, the whole the whole experience is great with the movie.
How long did it take how long did it take to film the movie?
Um, well, for all my parts, it was probably only like a couple of months, but I think the whole movie was like years in the making. They did different scenes were filmed on Staten Island. Where we filmed it all in the hotel was in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. So, but I think because they raised money and stuff like that for the budget, so I think it took a couple of years to have the whole thing done filming because of like budget wise and everything, having the money to do everything.
And it has a pretty stellar cast. I know Danielle Harris is in it, and she's obviously known for the Halloween franchise and a number of other, like Hatchet, a number of other horror films that she's appeared in.
Yeah, Danielle Harris, Jeffrey Combs, Tony Todd, R.I.P., who just passed away. This was one of his final projects that he worked on before he passed. He has a great little cameo in it. So like, yeah, they were saying that it's like the Expendables of horror because a lot of the cast was so it was a stacked cast as far as the horror industry. So yeah, it's really I was kind of starstruck working around some of these great people that were in it.
Now you've done, as I mentioned at the top of the show, you have done uh, stunt work, and I mean you've worked around celebrities, right? I mean, like
Hmm.
Dave Bautista.
Yeah. I've met a lot of different people on sets. I double for Dave Bautista. Well, actually, I'm probably not going to be doubling for him anymore because he lost a lot of weight recently. So I think he's trying to do different things with his career. But yeah, I've worked on like 3 movies with him, and yeah, so I've been around celebrities and stuff like that. But it was great being around. Stream, the whole cast. They make you feel right at home, even if they're a big name and I'm not. I wasn't like a real huge name. They still treated me like family. So it was a great experience, and I really appreciated the how everybody, the camaraderie and everything on set.
So, how did you end up in, the industry, getting into stunt work, or which came first? Were you acting, doing both? How did you kind of find your way into that field? I mean, I know you're a bodybuilder, so did that start? Was that how it started?
Well, yeah, I was a competitive bodybuilder. I was doing that for like 12 years, and I kind of wanted to take like the same route as like Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock or something like that, where it's just like a big guy like that who gets involved with movies and stuff like that. So, and I know I wanted to do like action movies and things, so I took regular acting classes and stunt classes, and then started. You get like little bit parts here and there and start building up your resume. Then you can get an agent and things like that and start being submitted for like better opportunities. But so it's been a long process of probably over 10 years of putting in work and just trying to master the craft of like acting and stunts and all that.
What was one of your first projects, in the entertainment industry?
One of the first things I was Orange is the New Black. I was working on that in season, I think it was either 5 or 6. We filmed it in like 2016, and that's what got me into the union, the Screen Actors Guild union, and I was working on that. I was one of the. It was during like a prison riot type scene, and we were clearing out the jail, so we were like kicking doors down and things like that. And that was one of the first things that I worked on. But I had other projects even before that, different. Um, everybody starts out working background or whatever on different commercials and shows. Just pretty much trying to get in front of as many directors and casting people as I possibly could. So
Because you've also had television appearances in The Daily Show, Law and Order, Only Murders in the Building, right? Are those some of the other?
yeah, yeah, and I've been on the Tonight Show several times. I'm like, they do different comedy skits on there, so I'm kind of like their go-to big guy when they need somebody. So I've dressed up as like the Incredible Hulk for Jimmy Fallon, and they had me as He-Man before on there. So yeah, so I'm kind of like a regular appearance on there when they need like a comedy skit.
That's pretty cool though, because I know you said, being on the set of Stream, you weren't one of the big names. However, you've actually been involved in some pretty, I mean, these are all very high profile, shows, projects. What do you think one of the biggest things that you've taken away from the experiences that you've had, in these higher profile shows? Like, what is it that has stood out to you? Is there somebody that's kind of given you advice in the industry? What have you sort of taken away so far in the different shows you've been part of or movies, etc.?
Yeah, just basically always trying to do my best work that I can do, trying to being on time and being somebody that's reliable. That's always one of my main things to focus on, and just somebody that they know, the directors and everybody knows that they can count on and trust to do the work right, and just not making. Usually, it's a lot of common sense stuff that I try, but people nowadays, sometimes not everybody, like keeping quiet when they're filming and things like that. Things like that is that's what really goes a long way in the whole acting world is just being somebody reliable and that they know isn't going to cause problems and drama, and you don't want to be like a fanboy when you're working around celebrities and stuff, like going up to them asking them for autographs, because a lot of times they're in the zone, they don't want to be bothered like that. So yeah, it's mostly like doing common sense stuff um, that keeps you out of trouble and keeps you on the good list or whatever.
Did you always know that you wanted to pursue like a creative sort of career? I mean, going back to earlier, you started in bodybuilding, but when you were younger, did you ever envision yourself going down this road and ultimately, ending up kind of in an entertainment career, whether it's acting, stunt work? Was that always an aspiration, or was it something that you just kind of started to realize later on in life?
No, I think I always liked being in front of people. Like I like public speaking and things like that. I know a lot of people are afraid of that, but especially with bodybuilding, because you have to get up on stage in front of like a whole crowd, and you're wearing a little pair of underwear pretty much. So yeah, things like that. I liked being in front of people. Like normally, I'm kind of introverted, like in my everyday life, but then I think you need to be able to like turn on a switch, like how Beyonce talks about when she goes and does a concert, she like kind of transforms into like another person. It's like something you can kind of turn on, and I just enjoy doing that, being in front of people, and so yeah, I think it was always something. Maybe not like as a kid. I don't know if I wanted to do acting, but I knew I wanted to like do something, be the center of attention, something like that, something where everything's being focused on me.
So I love horror movies. I talk a lot about that on my show, the horror genre. Are you interested in pursuing any more, horror related projects? I know that that's a very supportive community, and you do see a lot of folks from like wrestling and different corners of the industry that are able to transition into film, usually in horror. And again, it's a really tight knit community. Is that something you'd like to do more of? And if so, You played a killer. What would you be the ultimate if you're going to be in horror? What would you like to play?
Yeah, it's definitely so. Ever since like Stream, I've been doing some of these horror conventions and everything, and getting to do meet and greets with the fans and all that, and it kind of just fell in love with the whole industry. Everyone, it's like a big family. Everybody gets along, and it's really tight knit. So it's definitely something I want to do more of in the future. I plan on doing other. I'm hoping that they put me in the next Terrifier movie when that comes out. And but I got some things in the works. I'm doing a movie called Amityville Barbie, and that's kind of like a comedy slash horror movie. And so that we'll be filming that shortly. And uh, yeah, so I get to do like some more comedy chops on that, and that's what So that's probably like my dream is to do like because I am into like the comedy type of thing, like maybe being like the big dumb guy or something who's funny. So that would be kind of like my dream is to do like a slasher that's kind of like has funny parts to it.
Kind of like Friday the 13th Part 6 actually had humor, or Scream has a lot of humor in it.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like my favorite type of horror movies is ones that incorporate some different comedy, and that's why that's another thing about Stream. There was actually some funny parts in it. Daniel Roebuck had a part in Stream, and he was hilarious in it because he's a great comedy actor. So yeah, if you have to check that out.
He was also in Terrifier 3.
Yeah, he's been in Terrifier 3. He's been in a bunch of stuff, but yeah, so he's really funny. So his character in Stream, it's a really funny part that he has.
Are there any actors or stunt, people that you've kind of admired or looked up to, or is there anybody that you have idolized in the industry?
Um, yeah, well, Jeffrey Combs was great. He was great to be around, and so yeah, he was always somebody I idolized. But yeah, I look up to like a lot of the people who are more my like body types, Dave Bautista, Dwayne Johnson, that type of people, because Jason Momoa. That's the type of people who I would like to have my career at least like if I could be like a small percentage of what those guys are at, then I'd be happy. So I'm hoping that my trajectory goes in that direction, and because I know I'm kind of typecasted, I'm not going to be able to play like the nerdy dad or whatever because I'm like 6'4", 285 pounds, so I wouldn't be able to do like certain type of roles, but the things that are available for me, I would like to see my career be modeled after some of those guys.
And specifically, like you said, comedy would be something that you'd be interested in doing
Yeah,
more.
definitely. Yeah, I do. I do like a good comedy, so and I think it's fun to be on like comedy sets and shows like that. So
Well, your social media channels, you do some fun. I mean, you're funny in some of your short clips that you do. Do you also enjoy? Is that an outlet as well? I mean, along with doing this other work, is that sort of
yeah, definitely. Like the whole social media thing. I just kind of do random stuff on there, so it's not like it doesn't really have a theme or anything. It's just kind of I just like to get to know people and have them get to know me. So I like to show the real Mark when I'm out on social media, so you can see a little bit of my personality. So that yeah, that's kind of like an outlet and it's a great way to like keep in touch with people and be able to talk to people and everything like that.
what would be something that people would be surprised to know about you?
I am fluent in Spanish. I freelance as a Spanish translator, and I like to travel a lot. So I go to different countries and things like that. And that's another thing, actually. If I could be like an actor in like a telenovela or something, that would be something interesting that I'd like to do.
Right, and like people probably would not assume that you spoke Spanish, so it'd be even cooler to just appear in one of these telenovelas and out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They definitely don't expect it. Like, I sometimes like to eavesdrop when I hear people speaking Spanish out in public, and then I chime in sometimes, and then just to see the reactions and see what kind of looks I get.
It also said, I was reading a little of your bio, you're also a voice artist. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've done some voiceover work, just smaller projects, but yeah, I've done some audio books and things like that. So I would like to do some like different animation things. I think that would be cool too, because then you can kind of express yourself through like a cartoon character type thing.
In today's world, there are a lot of, I mean, especially recently, there are a lot of indie projects that are taking off. It seems like the creativity, where you see a lot of the creative risks being taken are in the indie world, whether that's horror or not horror. And also, because we're in a time where filmmakers and even like, folks like yourself, actors, you can to some degree create some of your own content without being reliant on other people having to do that. Have you found that in some ways, has it made it a little easier in terms of either getting cast in projects or even being able to put your own personality out there? Whereas maybe 20 years ago, it would have been harder to sort of market yourself without having kind of all the tools that we have at our fingertips today with social media, TikTok, all those things.
Yeah, for sure. It's been the whole indie world. It's been crazy. Like to see, Terrifier 3 did, it beat the Joker 2 at the box office, which is like insane to see things like that. So I think, um, yeah, I think for sure, like these Hollywood big budget projects should be probably sweating right now. 'Cause they're probably because there's going to be overtaken by the indie industry, and it's just crazy how like a lot of these projects are crowd funded. They just work on people's donations, and a lot of it is passion projects where people just they really love their work and their art form, and they're not just trying to put out some trash just to try to make money. You can actually tell that they're really passionate about what they're doing. And so the indie world is it's taken over by storm. And so yeah, it gives you a lot more opportunities for work. You might not get paid as much, but you're around people who really want to be there and doing it. And any you know like I didn't get into the to acting and stuff to get rich. I got into it because I love doing it. So I'm not worried about how much money I'm going to make on different things. So I kind of enjoy doing some of the indie projects even more because you're around like-minded people who are all there doing it because they love it. So yeah, definitely it opens more doors. It looks good on a resume and for your reel and everything. You get video footage of yourself. So yeah, I'm always open to collaborate with any like-minded people with any projects. It's always a good idea.
It is a very tight knit group, and it's a lot of people who are passionate about what they do. Do you have any interest of ever going behind the camera or writing or producing? Because I find that a lot of people that are in especially the indie world, whether it's because they have to or they just love it, they tend to have to wear many hats. So it's not just one thing. They're doing a lot of things, but they like it. Is that ever something that you'd want to do? Would you ever want to write something? Uh,
Yeah, as I always say that I'm full of ideas, so I'm kind of like a never-ending pit of ideas in my mind. So I always have things. Um, I was even just the other day talking about like because I originally grew up in like central Pennsylvania, so I'm kind of not too far from like Amish country. So I thought it'd be cool to do like a slasher, like kind of like an Amish like theme slasher. So yeah, I'm always batting around different ideas like that, and so yeah, I think yeah, I'd like to produce, direct whatever, especially when it's like my friends and stuff are filming something that they have something they don't really need me to be, involved with as far as acting wise. I'd still like to be involved with the project at some capacity. So if I could be, just anytime I'm on set, that's where I feel most comfortable and I feel happy. So I'd be I'd be willing to do, any type of work that has to do with filming.
So when it comes to like your friends and family or those that are closest to you, were they surprised when you kind of went in this direction, or did they kind of expect it? Or what's been the reaction from just the people, your core group of people around you?
Well, I think some people that are close to me, they're a little worried about it sometimes because it's like more of a inconsistent type of work. Whereas, if I had a 9 to 5, then I'd have a guaranteed paycheck every week. But sometimes, with acting, you have to do other. You have to have kind of like an open schedule. So I work a lot of like freelance type jobs. So yeah, I think like my parents and stuff might have been a little worried at first, but once they see the success of that like stream and some of these projects are having, then I think it puts them a little bit more at ease. Like, okay, yeah, I guess it's gonna work out. You'll be okay.
So you were saying earlier that, for you, this is also a passion. You hustle, you do what you need to do. What would your advice be to anybody else out there that, has a dream to maybe be in this industry that is starting out, and, sometimes it's rough, it's an easy road for anybody, I think, in any industry. But entertainment can be more fickle. So what would your advice be to somebody that is trying to get, whether they're younger, older, whatever, what would your advice be to them?
Well, yeah, like as you said, younger or older, it doesn't really matter. People of all ages, can make their breakthrough into the industry, and I would say just don't give up and don't let naysayers tell you you can't do it. Don't there's no reason why. A lot of times people from like a small town, they think they might have this mentality like I can't do this because I'm from here or whatever, but everybody's got to come from somewhere, so don't let anything hold you back. There's no reason why you can't do it if somebody else can. There's no difference. Everybody's just a human being, so there's no difference between people that have made it and you, other than they people that make it are people who refuse to give up and refuse to fail. So yeah, just be persistent. Take acting lessons from a teacher with a good reputation and everything. And even if it had, especially nowadays with the internet, you can do acting lessons on Zoom. So you could be with an acting coach out in Los Angeles, and you could be doing it on a meeting just like this, that like we're having. You could be doing anything on video. So the internet's really made the world a lot smaller in that way. You can audition for projects anywhere.